G'day ladies and gentlemen, it's the King David today, and in today's video I've got something very exciting to share with you guys, and it's breaking news which I haven't seen on any YouTube channel at all. At the moment people aren't even talking about this type of stuff. People don't know much about World War II zombies, and basically this is some new information to share with you guys, so I'm really excited to share it. Just before the video starts, it's going to be a pretty long one. If at any point in time you enjoy or bit excited about the game because of this information, just leave the video a like rating, and nothing more to say, and subscribe to the channel for more, and I'm going to dive straight back into it. So first of all, I'm going to start off with a bit about what we already know so far, and basically what we already know, for those of you who aren't aware, is there's been a few interviews and stuff like that with developers on the zombies game, in World War II zombies game mode, and what it's going to be like, and they haven't really revealed much. All they've really said is a few stuff, so I'm going to fill you in here now, guys, what they've already said as confirmed information. So basically what they're saying is that they're going to try and keep the mode as accurate to the World War II timeline as possible, and all the battles and the historic events which took place. And what I'm saying here, guys, will relate a lot into what the information I've got, new information, leaked you could say, but it's not exactly official, later on in this video. So anyway, and they're trying to make this historical influence powerful in the new zombies mode. So basically they're, as in the interview as said, they've taken trips around Europe and to the locations where there's zombie stories taking place, and they're really paying attention to detail here, and trying to keep it as accurate as possible, as I said. So basically, moving on here, guys, this also hints a tad bit to my side of the campaign mode being as part of zombies. My opinion is that it'll be a story mode and there'll be a survival mode in this zombies, simply because, in this experience obviously, simply because what they're hinting at saying here, and I think I see this a bit, is they're going to make this as horror themed and as scary as their Dead Space signature game that they've made not too long ago. As you all know, this is not obviously my, this is just a little bit of information, but basically Dead Space is a story mode zombies game, and to really bring out that horror and scary feel that they're looking for, I think they generally are going to make a story sort of more cinematic experience that you can also play in zombies, which will add a different setting of horror basically to playing the game, a different scare and whatever like that, if you know what I mean. So basically, more they go on to say that there's trying to make it as frightening as possible, etc. basically, and that's basically all they've said so far. So that's just getting the old information out of the way, guys, and this next part of the video is going to be the brand new information that I have done some research, you could say that. Basically what I was doing is on the internet, curious, because there isn't of course much information about World War II zombies at the moment. There's basically none around, pretty much. There's just a few words from basically Sledgehammer themselves, and that's all that people are going off. And now's around the time when people do research and dig deeper into history and storyline, basically, and then do reveal basically the backstory of what's to come and what we're to expect and what scenery we're going to have, etc. So this is not all accurate information, obviously, guys. What I'm reading out to you now is from the Call of Duty Zombies forum, and basically it's just information from the forum, information on real life events and how this could possibly tie into the zombies mode, like said. And just before I read out this information on the forum, I'd like to say that there are a lot of different language words to say in this video, so I'm just going to say right before I get into it, I'm just ignore me if I pronounce anything false, obviously, and I will have the link in the description to the actual forum so you can go through and read it all yourself and just basically look at and know exactly what I'm talking about here, guys. So anyway, starting right from the start. So basically what this forum is about is Anamba and Friedrich the Great, which basically a theory about Nazi zombies. So for those of you who don't know, Friedrich the Great was a king, a holy king in Germany, back in the day around the time of the war. So I'm just going to not go in anymore. I'm just going to start reading out the forum from now. It'll explain itself then. 9th of March 1152 was a special day. It was the day Friedrich the Great, also known as Friedrich Barbarossa, which of course we know Barbarossa. We've got some already information about the king being in the zombies somehow. Was crowned to King of Holy Germany and later of the whole Holy Roman Empire. He is considered to be the Holy Roman Empire's greatest medieval emperors ever, so one of the greatest, obviously. He combined qualities that made him look almost superhuman to his fellow Germans. So basically, they've looked up to him as some god, basically, some superhuman being. Anyway, his longevity, his ambitions, his extraordinary skills at organisation, his battlefield acumen, and his political perspicuity. Sorry if I'm not pronouncing this, I'll say it again, guys. A lot of these words, I don't know, I'm not exactly familiar with, to be honest. Anyway, unfortunately for him, 38 years later, in 1190, he died like a normal human being. He had bought Germany a huge amount of wealth, respect, and land, more than most moments before and later in the German history. He was seen like a true hero for Germany, and therefore many German citizens did not want to believe that he actually died. This causes that Friedrich is the subject of many legends, obviously, including that of a sleeping hero. Legend says he is not dead, but asleep with his knights in a cave in the Kaifhauser mountain in Thuringia, Germany. And that, when the raven cease to fly around the mountain, he will awake and restore Germany to its greatness again. So obviously this character, this king, is a saviour to the land, basically, and kept the land great and what everybody loved it to be. Anyway, moving on, a small 800 years later, just a small 800 years, according to the legend, Friedrich Barbarossa still lays in the cave of Kaufhauser, waiting for the moment to resurrect. But the rusty years after World War I had made Germany broken. Out of the ashes, out of the old imperial Germany, something new had risen. The NSDAP, aka the Nazis, with a leader, Adolf Hitler. We all know the story that followed, obviously. Adolf Hitler starting the war, invading countries and so, basically. So moving on, what you might not know was that in 1935, SS officer Himmler had created the group Anamba. Remember this name, people, because I believe this will be one of the main subjects in World War II zombies. Anamba was a project in Nazi Germany to research the archaeological and cultural history of the Aryan race. The Anamba group later conducted experiments and launched expeditions in an attempt to prove the mythological Aryans, a tall, pale and blue-eyed race, once had ruled the world. So this has obviously been the theory that this race had once ruled the world, just as it says there, guys, and this is basically what the Nazi regime looked up to and believed 100% in, without doubt. Anyway, investigation to Atlantis, expeditions to Tibet and Antarctica in order to find gateways to the mythical Agatha, land of the Vrilia or Aryans. Experiments on human subjects to make them Aryan. It happened all in this group. Hey, you might think, Agatha and Vril. I know that. That's obviously right. Agatha, we've all heard in zombies before, guys. This is sort of the different realm where Samantha gets transported through. And we don't really know too much about it, but we hear it a lot in zombies. Anyway, you're true. It are the same Agatha and Viral I talk about here, so just referring to what I've just said before. In case you're not familiar with it, here's a short summary about it by @tac. So basically, I'm going to continue reading out this. This is a quote. There were two inhabitable planets. There's a bit of background about the Aryan race, by the way, guys, just before I get into it, sort of if you have no idea about them. There were two inhabitable planets revolving around a star. Aldebaran, and the population of the Aldebaran system was divided into the master race, known as the Aryans, and subservient lower races. Sorry about that. However, as their sun expanded and the planets became uninhabitable, they left. They visited many places in the universe, with their first stop at a planet named Marduk, in what is now the asteroid belt, followed by Mars, and shortly after that they came to Earth and settled in Sumeria. They split into two factions, some migrating towards the Gobi Desert and others heading north, landing in the mythical Hyboria, which some say is modern-day Siberia in Russia, obviously. Eventually they created the subterranean world known as Agatha, which the capital city of Shambhala in the Earth's core, Hollow Earth. As the centre of intellectual progress and enlightenment, and is powered by the Black Sun, or Schwarze Sonne in German, basically, a black star located within the Earth itself, said to contain and radiate immersed power called viral energy. It's been said that many entrances to Agatha, including Antarctica and the pyramids of Gaza and the city of Shangri-La in the Himalayas. So basically this is referring to previous zombies maps and how they've been entrances and gateways to Agatha. Anyway, over time evidence began to show that this viral, one of the two, was the very lifeblood of the Aryans, the support of powerful psychic and technological advancements among their race. While employing this energy source via vril rods, they could achieve great telekinetic abilities, and through great acts of medicine could live up to the age of 1,000 years. However, if used the wrong way, these rods could be for great destruction. Okay, that has been the quote, been a backstory on the Aryans and Agatha, basically the land which they ruled and had immortality in. Anyway, moving on to the backstory. But we continue, like I said, Anabre did more than these harmless expeditions, namely experiments on humans. You may know the horrific story about Mengele, the doctor of Auschwitz, trying to make Jews' brown eyes blue like the eyes of Aryan Übermenschen, so German for superhuman. These experiments on human subjects, many concentration camp inmates, provide a horrifying constellation of facts that can lead to the theory about Nazi experiments to re-imitate the dead. So this is talking about Nazi experiments, obviously, trying to reenact, trying to resurrect the dead, or make basically humans to act just as if they were the Walking Dead zombies, basically. Anyway, moving on, because blue eyes and white skin aren't the only special things about Aryans, legend says the inhabitants of Agatha are immortal. So, obviously, just as it says, I'm just going to keep going. Wolfram Savers, director of Anabre, oversaw a particularly horrific program of medical testing on concentration camp inmates, some of which ran parallel to the concept of raising the dead. The Second World War begins by Germany's invasion of Poland. During this invasion and the following occupation, many Polish paintings and art are fallen into the hands of the Nazis. Probably the most known one, Raphael's portrait. Up to this day, it is still unknown what happened with it. So, as you can see on the forum at the moment, there'll be a photo of Raphael's portrait, just so you can have a look if you really want to. Anyway, followed by the capitulation of Nazi Germany and the Axis powers on the 28th of April 1945 at a munitions factory depot called Bernterode in the German region of Thuringia. Sorry, I'm not that good at pronouncing, as you can hear. 40,000 tons of ammunition were found inside the mine. Investigating American officers noticed what looked like a brick wall painted over to match the colour of the mine shaft. The wall turned out to be 5 feet thick. The mortar between the bricks not yet fully hardened. Breaking through with pickaxes and hammers, the officers uncovered several vaults containing a wealth of Nazi regalia, including a long hall hung with Nazi banners and filled with uniforms, as well as hundreds of stolen artworks, tapestries, books, paintings, and decorative arts. There is a very big chance that Raphael's portrait was somewhere in here too. In a separate chamber, the soldiers came across a ghoulish spectacle. 4 monumental coffins containing the skeletons of the 17th century Prussian king, Friedrich the Great, Field Marshal von Hindenburg, and his wife. The Nazis had seized human relics of deceased Teutonic warlords. The 4th coffin was empty, but bore an engraved plate with the name of its intended occupant, Adolf Hitler. The return of these corpses to their proper resting places was a military operation called Operation Body Snatch. The mine the American soldiers had stumbled upon was a Nazi facility built upon the Kaufhauser mountain, where the body of King Friedrich lays. It was never clear what the Nazis planned to use these specific bodies for, but conspiracy theorists offer no shortage of suggestions. There is a possibility that it was an anabary facility where they tried to resurrect dead bodies. Their final goal? Raising Germany's greatest leaders, including Friedrich Barbarossa. And a quote from this, guys: when the ravens cease to fly around the mountain, he will awake to restore Germany to its ancient greatness. So as you heard there, guys, there was a bloody shitload of information. There was so much shit I didn't pronounce properly, and excuse me for it. But this, I think, has given you a lot of backstory, and it certainly has given me a lot more backstory into what is to come in this zombies mode. So again, guys, I won't talk anymore. I think I've nearly ran out of bloody voice. I've been talking just constantly straight. If you want to check this forum out, check it out in the description. All shout outs to this bloke. Some people have definitely done a lot of their research here, as you can clearly see, and it all sounds great. So thanks a lot for watching again, guys. If you've enjoyed at any point in this video, leave it a like rating and subscribe for more on World War II zombies. I'll catch you later, guys.